YouTube, what's going on? My name's Corporate Surf, and in today's video, I have a topic I am most excited about: training for esports careers. You see, a while back, I came across this really cool page on TikTok, which was a young man who was basically parenting and coaching his sons to be better at Kovacs, Valorant, and other esports. And it got me thinking, what would I recommend someone do if they wanted to train for an esports career? Well, we're going to talk about a lot of things, but I have two foundations for esports training. The first of these foundations is movement. So, why is movement most important? It's about your level of comfort on the platform, being able to be fluid and easily orient yourself within a map or an environment in a game. The next benefit comes from strafe aim. Everyone knows that you aim with your mouse, but a lot of your adjustments and extra aim comes from your keys. Being comfortable with your WASD, that is super important to strafing and aiming. And then, of course, your opponents are shooting back at you, so being able to dodge is pivotal. You have to stay alive to win a gunfight. The way I would recommend beginning your esports journey would be with Minecraft parkour. Minecraft, it has a whole system of movement that you have to learn, and there's a range of difficulties. There's ranked Minecraft parkour. So you can start at an absolute beginner level, not knowing any of the movement tech, and progress and see yourself become more and more comfortable with your keys. So Minecraft is my first recommendation, but Counter-Strike Surfing is also a great tool to help you with your movement. I can only do so much with this video, but I highly recommend checking out both Minecraft Parkour and Counter-Strike Surfing for your movement training. The next foundation is equally important, and that is strategy and critical thinking. One of the greatest ways I believe to train this is using chess. Chess is the largest esport in the world, and it's growing every single day. The reason chess is such a great tool is there's so many ways to play. Looking at the first image, there's bullet chess, which are 1 minute, super fast games. Then there's blitz chess, which are 3 minute games, still quick but more time to think. Rapid chess, which is a 10-minute game. And then classic or daily chess, which is more drawn out strategy over a longer term battle between a player. Then there are chess puzzles, which force you to think in unique and challenging situations. The various ways that you can play chess have excellent parallels into esport application. Okay, so I've made my foundations pretty clear. Let's go over the progression of training, starting with the more mechanical side of things. For the more generalized skills, we have the movement that we already talked about, flowing into raw aim, so those are aim trainers there, and then flowing into Vampiric 1v1. Vampiric 1v1 is a hit scan duel, which requires movement and aim, and then moving into a game like League of Legends, putting some thought behind that mechanical skill that we just developed. Now, when we apply these skills to an esport like Apex Legends, Apex has its own system of movement to learn. There's more basic stuff like wall jumping and super gliding, all the way up to stuff like tap strafing. Then we already talked a little bit about 1v1s, but 1v1 specific to R5 Reloaded, which is an in-game aim trainer, learning how each weapon works and how to fight within the game itself. Now let's look at our progression of training through the lens of the strategy foundation. So more generally, we start at chess, which has the various ways to play. We ease into more strategy intensive games like Dota, and then progress to an esport like Street Fighter 6, which, while it has much greater mechanical emphasis, still has things like blocking, countering, combos, and strategies based on your character. Then how we can look to apply those general skills towards an esport, the example I have is Valorant. With Valorant, there's an overarching need for game sense. How to attack, how to defend, what can you expect your enemy to do, and how can you outsmart them? Then the next point is, how can you think strategically to enhance the output of your mechanical toolkit? Your characters have abilities and ultimates to help you attack your opponents, and so how can you think strategically to get an advantage with those tools? So before we continue, some further explanations here, starting with aim trainers. These are all YouTube resources that are going to be linked below, but from me, I have my most popular video, which is an aim strategy to improve the most optimally, and then the other video is my most recent video, which shows how top level players use aim trainers to help them in the esport of their choice. Then from Mario W, who's a member of Voltaic, there's a 19 video playlist, which is mostly aim trainers. The most recent video here talks about Overwatch, but it shows the aim theory and how to improve your technique. And then the third person I've listed here is Lori's, and even though there's only 2 videos in this aim education playlist, they are extremely beneficial to your in-game translation. Then here I wanted to explain what that Vampiric 1v1 was. These are close-range 1v1 hit scan duels. The first image comes from Quake Live. The second is from Overwatch custom games. There's also a free game called Diabolical, which you can LG duel. But these maps use Vamp, which is short for Vampiric, which is a 1v1 duel that refers to health regeneration based on damage that you deal to an opponent. So as you deal damage, a portion of that damage will be converted into healing for your character. So why would this format be beneficial as a training tool? Well, because of the vampiric nature, it's essential to develop your fighting movement to dodge so that the enemy health is not restored and your damage is more impactful. Developing better dodge leads to your damage meaning more. Then with reactivity, these are human 1v1s. You're not just playing a bot and Kovacs, so it's fast-paced, unpredictable strafes, and it calls for more reactive micro corrections. And then finally here, LG dueling punishes players that fail to utilize their movement keys, WASD, for adjustments in their close range tracking. If you rely completely on your mouse to aim, you're going to be at a great disadvantage to people who have developed movement aim. LG dueling is also a great way to practice with both mirroring and anti-mirroring. So mirroring versus anti-mirroring. Mirroring is when you are moving in the same direction as your opponent, so your aim is going to be very easy, right? You just lead your shots in the direction that they're going because you're already walking there. You barely even have to aim. Anti-mirroring is when you are going in one direction, but the opponent is going in the other direction. So your shots travel across like that. So then back to the first example here, when this guy decides to strafe, and instead of going right, he's going left now, you also go left, and your aim follows him. But with anti-mirroring, when this guy says, yeah, I'm going right now, you go left, and your aim travels across. Okay, so that was the first portion of the video, but here in this segment of the video, I want to emphasize a couple things to you. The first one is look at the investment that esports has. Esports is growing both in viewership and in prize winnings. But also look at the variety of games that you see here. You've got Counter-Strike, which is attack FPS, Rocket League, which is literally soccer cars, a battle royale with Apex Legends, Fortnite, which is the craziest building movement shooting game ever, which is also a battle royale. Then you look at the next 10, you have sports games, fighting games, hero shooters like Overwatch. There's so much variety in esports. I hope after this presentation you also understand how these esports come together to make a professional player. With PUBG, you have to understand battle royales, how to strategize your macro and have the correct mechanics to win gunfights. Valorant, attack FPS, strategy and aiming. Minecraft parkour, the movement that we were talking about. League of Legends, team fights and strategy. Rocket League, offense, defense, working with teammates. Vampiric 1v1, strafe, aim, and dodge. Chess, quick, critical thinking and strategy. Street Fighter 6, blocking, counters, and combos. A player that understands all of these is going to have a great foundation to their esports journey. When they begin to specialize, they are going to be at an advantage to everyone else. They know more. They have more skills. You might have listened to all this and say, you know what, this is just so overwhelming. I don't know where to start. What can I do? Take it one game at a time. Every single one of these games, from PUBG to Minecraft parkour, even chess, all of these have ranked modes. Very conveniently, most of them have ranked modes that go from bronze to diamond in some respect. Let's say you're starting at the absolute bottom, you're very new to gaming. Try to get silver in every single one of these games. When you have silver, then go to gold. Get gold for all of them. By the time you get diamond on everything, you're ready to choose what you like the most. If you're diamond in 10 different games that have huge varieties and skill gaps and learning curves, when it's your time to specialize in Apex Legends, you could be top 750 pred. In order to progress, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to allow yourself the time it takes to learn new skills. But with these small incremental jumps from game to game, you're going to build your portfolio so well. You're going to be so well versed to take on each new game. So we're almost done here, but there are some other skills that I think are worth mentioning and training that I'm going to talk about at the end of the video. The first one, and this is super important, is box fights 1v1 in Fortnite. Even this box fights 1v1 has a ranked mode. Just to tell you some of the skills that box fights 1v1 is going to test. It's going to test your movement reading of the opponent, your click timing, flicks, tracking, micro adjustments. Playing 1v1 box fights covers a ton of mechanical skill. I highly recommend that you download Fortnite and play box fights 1v1s if you are serious about improving in games. The next skill is outside of the house. It's getting moving and playing tennis. Tennis is great for conditioning, endurance, hand-eye coordination. You have to be accurate. You have to be able to finesse shots. If there's one sport that I think that you guys should invest your time in, it's tennis. And physical activity is really good for esports performance. Last but certainly not least here is your social skills. Even though a lot of the environments we interact with people today are digital, having human connection, social skills, being able to have fun and collaborate and work with people, it's huge. You'll notice so many of these esports that we've been talking about, they are team sports. You have to be able to work with other people. So whether you're in college or you're in a small town, try to get involved in LAN parties, which is what this old photo is from, but work on being a better person, being a better friend, being able to communicate with people and understand people. When you need coaching, you're interacting with someone directly. When you're on a Discord call and you're talking to people and people are getting mad at you, you have to be able to understand how to interact with them appropriately so that you can progress still. Sometimes social interaction does not go smoothly, but at the end of the day, you have to work with people to grow. So that is going to complete the video for training for esports careers. I want to thank you all so much for watching to this point. Thank you guys for giving me the chance to talk about this subject that I'm very passionate about. Even if you don't agree with everything that I said, hopefully some of what I have said to you today was impactful and is going to help you in your next steps. At the end of the day, everybody has different goals and there's different ways to go about those goals. So that is going to wrap it up for me. Thank you all again for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.